the average age to run for office was 30, and then I was 29. There was a government policy, no work, no pay. And suddenly, they started demonstrating. The next thing, they set my house ablaze.
Hi there, welcome back to the Just Start podcast with Timothy Kunat. It's always exciting to be with you. I'm literally loving the momentum on this podcast. I love the fact that you're coming here every week, joining me on these conversations. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. And if this is your first time coming here, if it's your first time, tuning into this podcast, I want to say welcome. Welcome. I appreciate you so much. You make this worthwhile. Every single one of you who just, logs in to watch this, to listen on to this, you make it worthwhile. It's worth every single time that we spend building this. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And like I said, if this is your first time, put your hands together for yourself and welcome, 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 welcome. Okay. You know the drill, right? If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, like, share. You can even start commenting right now. I want to know where you're watching this from, what are the things that resonate with you, because I have a beautiful session in store for you all today. All right. Are we doing that? I'll give you 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm sure you've done all of that. Okay, so today I've got a really special guest, really, really special guest. And you know what? I'm emphasizing the word special. She's truly special. With me here is the Honorable Commissioner of Information and Communication for Plateau State. I have with me today the Right Honorable Joyce Lohya Ramnap, MNI. You're welcome. Thank you so much for coming here today, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Timothy. I wish I had so much energy to share like you do. Good afternoon, wonderful people of Plateau. Yeah. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to have you sitting with me on the set today.
Thank you very much.
Awesome,
Thank
awesome.
You.
One of the things I'm quite intrigued about is your journey into politics and the public sector, right? Being the commissioner of information and communication, knowing that you also came from, being the deputy speaker, right? That's truly amazing and inspiring. But I'd like you to take us way back, right? Take us to like the beginning of this. Beyond or without the MNI, which you've really worked hard to get, and it's such an important title, and without the, all of these things, let's put all of these a little bit on the side. Who is Joyce Lohya Ramnap?
Oh, thank you very much. So when you say beginning, I really don't know where to start from.
Start from wherever you're comfortable.
So I will say Joyce Ramnap, an average Plateau woman who just started her journey into politics after school days. And I started at a point where it wasn't this easy to join politics. At some point, the average age to run for office was 30. And then I was 29, and I had to run for this office. And so I had to do the calculation well so I don't get into trouble running much earlier than I did. So I started the journey, and whether fortunately for me, again, or unfortunately, I came from a constituency, a rural one for that matter. Langtang South was my constituency. And at that point, no woman had ever gotten any public office. Whether it's council or whether it's an elective office, no woman had represented at that level. So it was first for me a struggle to be accepted as a woman. First, that I could give equal representation and I could be the voice for the people and, all of that. I was first struggling with being accepted first as a woman. And of course, after my primary election, I got into the House of Assembly. Thankfully to God, I emerged as the Deputy Chief Whip at my first tenure. Of course, like I said, the youngest at that point. And sometimes you're struggling to get your footing and some intimidations. You're young, you're a woman and all of that. But I took charge and I thank God I was able to navigate my way through. And then I came back again the second tenure. And I thank God I was elected as the deputy speaker for my second tenure. And of course, our administration came to an end after that 8 years with the then governor of Plateau State, Baba John David Chang. And we were out of the scene because another political party came in. So I had the I had the space again to go back to do other things. Of course, I ventured into my business, which I have always been passionate about. And then I went back to school. I just got into doing some courses around leadership. I did my master's on security and strategy administration at NDA, and then I did another MPhil on leadership at NDA. And thankfully, I got admitted into the National Institute where I did my course as an executive course for leadership again and policy implementation. So that's how I landed at NIPS. And of course, coming out of NIPS, I was ripe for leadership again.
Fantastic.
And then Barrister Caleb Mutfwang gave me another opportunity to serve. I started first as the Commissioner 2 of the Local Government Service Commission, and I was there for about a year. And after that 1 year, he changed the mandate for me again and called me to be the Commissioner of Information. And this is where I am today, Timothy.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. You've said so many beautiful things that I want to highlight. You were a young woman, really young. First time a woman hadn't even come out to represent your constituency
no.
up until that moment.
Yeah.
And you were breaking this barrier. What was it like?
Well, I would say that it was first a rare privilege by God for me to be at the stage at that time. I recall that when I came in and I was quite young, there was another woman at the space too, who was also from a constituency close to mine. So if it is because I was a woman, there was a more senior woman than I, and she was at her second tenure. But I was picked on to be a principal officer, which made it more kind of challenging. So I just felt that whatever it took for me to give in my best, I had to do it at that point, to give good leadership, to also be a role model for other younger women. And thankfully to it too, when I had the opportunity to give a nomination for the deputy chairperson in my local government, of course, you know what I would do. Okay, so I gave a nomination for another female to come into the space and all of that. So it was quite tasking for you to not just represent your people, but to also fill in the space that is there. So I had to look at some legislations that had to do with our own, that is peculiar to either women development or rural development, which is the constituency I came from. So I got to sponsor the bill on domestic violence, so you don't, I sponsored that bill on domestic
Very
violence.
important bill.
Then there was a bill that was very dear to my heart, the Equal Opportunity Bill. That Equal Opportunity Bill was the bill that gave rise to what is now the Commission on Disability, because that's part of the component of that bill. Now, that bill, of course, gave room for people with disability to also have opportunities to be considered in appointments within the states and all of that. And of course, women will also have their fair share of that bill. Then there was this bill on the Social Development Agency. Okay, that bill is supposed to look at how to get communities to participate in governance. And they also needed a voice to say, okay, in my community, this is what I want. This is what I want in my community. So I also sponsored that bill. And of course, as a woman, as a young one, I wasn't proud, so I could rally around my colleagues. And fortunately, I got their backing all the way. They call me mommy, and calling me mommy. So I rallied around all of them, and they supported that bill. And then the bill was passed into law again today. That Agency for Social Development, just by what do you call that hotel? Crispan. That is what gave rise to that agency. So I'm very lucky that when I had the opportunity, I took it, and then I'm able to get these commissions to stand. You can't tell the story of gender inclusion in Plateau State without mentioning my name. You can't tell that story of that agency without mentioning my name. And that is because when I got the opportunity, I played it well. Thank you.
In such a male-dominated space.
I know. I know. Yes.
In such a male-dominated space where it's almost like, I mean, right now, with all that has happened and all of the advocacy and everything, politics in Nigeria is still heavily male-dominated.
I know.
How did you, or how, I can't even say did because you're still in the space, so how have you, well, as a younger woman and then to where you are now, navigated through the politics of the politics and the intricacies of the space?
I thank God I'm now an older woman. Okay? I just turned 50, so I'm now an older
congratulations.
woman. Thank you. Okay, so I thank God that what helped me, like I said earlier, is staying humble. Okay, it did help me a lot. I recall somebody said that to me and said, "Look, Joyce, with humility is a win-win situation." Now, humility does not mean that you allow people to take advantage of you. Okay, when you need to step up, you step up. When they want to run you down, you take your space. Okay, but humility is the fact that you give everybody his respect. In a male-dominated territory like ours in the political scene in Nigeria, I think that we can, as women, we can still make our cases like we're making now for women to be allowed to have certain offices at the national. With the constitutional review that is ongoing now, we have made our positions known. But just make them know that, okay, look, I'm here to support. I'm here to support a cause, but I am just who I am. I'm just a woman. That does not mean that I won't give you your respect and your regards or whatever it is that is the issue. I'm sure once you're able to do that, you will be able to, they will carry you along. They will carry you along. But the moment you just put this idea, oh, women thing, it's our right. No, it doesn't work like that. Even if it's a right, say it in a way that they understand. Present it in a way that they will appreciate. I recall that when I had this bill that it was on domestic violence. Hey, you people, you've started this, your women thing. You know what I did to them? I went around their wives. I invited them. I said, don't tell your husbands you're coming. Just come and be at the gallery today. Let's surprise your husbands. And the women, they cooperated so well. Everybody got to the chamber seeing their wives. They were scrambling to talk and support the bill. Express. We got our express passage, okay? So that's one. It worked for me. Yes. So I brought in their wives, and everybody, for the first time, their wife is watching your proceedings at the house, and they want to see how would you go there and say, I'm not supporting women issue when your wife is at the gallery? I don't know that wisdom where it came from, but that worked very well for me, and we got what we wanted. So sometimes you need to also have your own creative mind and work to be able to get results, even as women. So this would just be my encouragement to younger women who want to join politics. Don't mind the stereotyping. Of course, thank God that a lot is going on now that the stereotyping has gone down. But just to be able to stand as a woman, to be a voice for other women and all of that, and be supportive, because most times they say women don't support themselves and all of that. But to me, I keep saying it that assertion is a cliche.
Yes.
There's nothing like we don't support ourselves. Of course, we want to all grow together now. Now, nobody is competing. What we are doing is we are collaborating.
Yes.
Since we understand that we don't have the same strength, we have different strengths. So if I need a woman who is more vocal, I look for the person who is more vocal. If I need a one who is more a go-getter, I look for the one that is a go-getter. She does not remove me from being who I am. So as many of us that will be in the public space, thank God, it's so wide for all of us to be able to get to the top. So we are all out there.
Wonderful. You've served as deputy speaker, and now you serve as commissioner. You talked about being in the chieftaincy affairs. Was it chieftaincy?
No, local government service commission.
Local government service commission. And now you're in the information. You're in information and communication. What have these transitions taught you about power, influence, and service?
That's a tricky question. Power, service, and influence. Well, for me, I'll start with influence.
Yes. Okay.
Influence for me is what is leadership today, because your ability to do something positive, and influence the decision of other people, and this is what we're talking about: encouraging other women to come into the political space. Okay, that for me will be what is influence, and then I must be deliberate as to how I deliver that, because I cannot afford to let them down. I have to just be up and doing. Okay, I cannot allow, say, whether it's mediocrity, I don't know, whether it's a nonchalant attitude, those things that can give the negatives about us as women. No, I won't let that happen. I will try my best to be that influence that they need, so that they see it and it encourages them. Okay, I know where the boundaries should be for me, and do that, which can be the influence for other women. So that for me will be influence that I would do in leadership, in the position that I am here occupying as a commissioner now at the moment. The transition for me is seamless. It's seamless, but because in all honesty, I didn't know I was going to just shift base from being the commissioner to being the commissioner of information. So again, that opportunity that I got, I just made the most of it. And then when that one came, it was seamless for me. If I had thought that, okay, because I'm here now, I'll relax and just take things as they are and then go by the usual way of doing things, the bureaucracy of running offices, probably I would have not been able to secure another opportunity as a commissioner of information. So for whatever you get, the opportunity you get, just make sure you make your mark there. So it will be easier for you. If there's any transition, you will find it very easy to adapt. I'm not, as a commissioner of information, I'm not trained as a journalist and all of that. But for me, what I know is what is expected of me as a commissioner of information is to be able to deliver, to be able to communicate the government policies, programs, and projects, to communicate it to our people at the grassroots, to also be able to get a feedback from the people and then translate it to our leader, the governor. So for me, that is something that I should be able to do, whether I have the professional training or not. This is what you're called to do.
Yes,
so if you're doing your job, if you're able to get this feedback, if you're able to give back to the people, you would have been able to deliver. So it's naturally a seamless effort. But I must also say that the commissioner of information, sometimes you have to count your words. You can say I'm bringing down my voice now. You have to count your words again to not say what you're not supposed to say. All those things. Sometimes what you say can spark a whole lot again, because you're speaking on behalf of the entire government. And if you're not careful, you go make statement carelessly, it can land you into some serious issues. You must not touch on the sensitivity of issues that you are not grounded on. So those are the areas that I can say that is a challenge that comes with the duty and the expectation of the people. I must tell you something. Nigerians, thank God for your own generation. You're better readers than ours, okay? We're not good readers. So you could think that, oh, you're doing well as a commissioner. I've put everything. It's on my Facebook page. It's on my Twitter handle. It's on our website. And you think that you've informed the people. You'll be shocked. They say, you're not doing anything. We don't know what you're doing. That's the challenge again that we're faced with, okay? So sometimes you have to look for the platforms that works better for the people. It's not enough to put that information there. You'll be shocked that you put that information for 1 week. They tell you that they've not heard from you. There's nothing that they know about what you're doing. So you have to go all out to be able to be sure that you are communicating to them, not just giving information, but communicating. Okay, so this, I would say, would be the flip side of what it means to transit from being in one office to another. So,
do you think that the amount of trainings that you took in between the office, the time when you were in office with under Babajang, and then now coming back to these specific responsibilities that you'll be given, you talked about doing certain courses at the NDA and at NIPS and all of that. Do you think that those things prepared you for where you are right now?
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here today if I had not prepared myself with that. I am very honest about that. It prepared me. You know, my participation in politics would have given me an idea on how to interface with people. You know, sometimes in leadership, you could just, that's why you have different types of leaders, right? Some people do not have that connection with the people. And once that connection is missing, again, you will not be able to communicate efficiently. Okay, so for me, I think that if you will measure me to have succeeded in what I'm doing today, I will say that it's the background where I'm coming from, the experiences I've acquired, the training that I've gotten, and all of that has prepared me for where I sit today.
What is something that has happened in your political journey that you'll never forget? Like a really defining moment for you?
Wow. A defining moment. Okay, I this same experience that I'm sharing with you, I shared that in NIPS because we have one. It's a program they call my most challenging career experience. Okay, that's what they call it in NIPS, and you write on that challenge that you experience, and then you draw out the lessons that you have learned from the challenge. And you give recommendations based on the challenge that you have experienced. So this was the same. This information I will share with you, I have hardly shared it, so it will be that same thing that I wrote. This defining moment for me will be at a point in time that there was a government policy that the government said no work, no pay. And the civil servants were on strike at the local government level. They were on strike for a period of time. They didn't go back to work. And suddenly, the opposition within my own constituency, they said, oh, it's Joyce that said the governor should not pay. And then the people were so aggressive, the civil servants were so aggressive, and they started demonstrating. And from demonstration, the whole situation escalated. The next thing, they set my house ablaze. They set the house of the chairman of the local government and the then commissioner in my own local government. This was the action they took. It was so tough for me. Why would you do that? Why would I? Who am I to say that? I would tell the governor from Langtang South to say, don't pay people in Plateau State. And the people bought that dummy. And they did this, okay? So I would say that was a defining moment for me in politics. First, for me to accept the reality of what has happened. Two, for me to let go of that loss that I suffered. Three, to still be a leader for them and represent them. So it was a defining moment, I must say. It was a defining moment for me in my career. I recall that when they say, this person, I said, don't call any name. I don't want to know any name. I don't want to know the name of who did what, because probably I will find it more difficult to forgive the person.
Yes.
Being that I would have probably helped the person, or the person would later come to me for help and all of that. So if I know those details, it may be difficult. But let me show leadership. Let me forgive them. Let me just allow it to be that, it was just ignorance, and this was politically motivated. These people are hungry and angry. So my opponent took advantage of that. So this was how I was able to navigate out of that. And guess what? Today, my thesis in NIBS is on policy implementation. Now, I did my thesis on policy implementation, the legislative oversight and policy implementation. And in the course of my research work, I realized that once there's a policy that is not properly communicated, these are the things you get back. Okay, these are the things you get back. Sometimes government could mean very well for the people, but because that policy was not properly implemented or not communicated, it becomes a problem. Now, even as then a legislator, I had my limitations. These limitations, again, also has its own way of affecting how policies are being implemented. So you see, I drew a very big lesson out of that experience.
Whoa.
That left you speechless, right?
Whoa.
So that's the large heart we have in politics. Sometimes people get it all wrong, and they call politicians all sorts of names. They think it's all about the corruption. They never know the experiences that we go to and the large heart we have and the efforts we make towards it. So sometimes stereotyping is not a very, very good thing. Honestly, there are people that are in politics with genuine reasons for being there, and their heart is true to what they are doing. For me, my biggest joy is that when I'm able to do something that affects the life of our people, there's this joy that I find from the inside of me. It makes me fulfilled. I feel very happy that I'm able to achieve this. So politics is not all wrong, or we all don't go there for the same purpose, or we are not there because we're corrupt people, or we're looking for fast money. Sometimes I must tell you too that politics will even make you lose the little one you have, because you go out of your way. The people that you're dealing with, sometimes they don't even understand that you have limitation. They think you can just fix everything for them. And your ability to fix these things, and these things I'm talking about is private. Oh, my wife is in the hospital, I want to get married, all these things. School fees. Your ability to do these things, they will define you as a good politician. If you pass all the bills you pass into law, don't give them this money. They will call you the bad names, okay? So sometimes you go out of your way to ensure that you do those basic things for them in the bid to be called that good name. So that's the other side of it. I'm sure you will join us soon in politics.
I don't know about that too. Because now as I'm just listening to you, my mind is racing through a lot of things. I'm like, wow. Okay, so now with this in mind, and now you're in charge of the information and communication. How do you shape these narratives, especially in the grassroots places, where sometimes, like you've just mentioned, something is intended for this, but it is not communicated in the right way, and then it is received in another way, completely different from what was intended, especially from the office of the governor or the government as a whole. In what ways are you now communicating better? I don't know how to because maybe I'm still overwhelmed by the response from your last question, but how are you mitigating some of these issues like the example you gave through communication and information right now as the commissioner?
For me, I would say that the ways that I can, or with my experience that I find as a way of mitigating, that I'm here today is for a purpose like that.
Yeah.
Now I know that I must be more expressive, okay, to be able to tell the perspective of the government. I must also be transparent. You know, sometimes in the bid to be able to communicate, and then you are saying it as it is, people think that you're trying to sugarcoat some of these things. So you also try to give them the opportunity to say their own minds, and then you get the feedback. And then you now look for ways to be able to put other policies, or to be deliberate about how you deliver. I would use a classical example. We woke up some months back, and the Terminus main market got burnt again for the second time. We rushed to Terminus main market, and then some person just put it out there that it's government that is burning the market.
Yes.
I had to go to talk about it on Unity FM. I had to speak Hausa. I am Tarok woman. Naturally, people from my place don't speak good Hausa, okay? So I had to speak Hausa. Now, it wasn't just about communicating, but it's not just about telling the people that no, government didn't do this, or this is the intent. And then to make matters worse, they told the people, they are moving the market out of there. Because they are Hausa people, or because of their community. So I had to make them understand that the essence of a government is for the lives of the people to be better.
Yes.
Your progress is the progress of the state. If you're economically vibrant, that makes the state. That doesn't make you. It adds up to what is the collective strength of us as a state. And what is our strength is the government.
Yes.
So I had to be able to step it down to make them understand this. So they will know that this is purely political propaganda, okay? So every step of the way, I remember my experience too, and to say, okay, let me be more explicit in communicating, and let me also feel their pulse. When I feel that they are not understanding, we find measures around it.
Yes.
And because of that, because of the feedback that we got, what did we do? We did a town hall meeting, calling the strategic leaders at that level to be able to interact with them and get that feedback. These are measures you can take to mitigate. Town hall meetings is a very, very important mechanism towards neutralizing misunderstanding. And this is what we've been able to do. And this is the measures. There are things that, okay, when it's like this, I report back to my principal. I say, you need to do more. Because the aggression or the reaction we're getting, it's wrongly misunderstood. So sometimes these are ways that we'll be able to, again, communicate to them, to be able to get them to understand. Sometimes we call for meetings, again, at the levels where people don't understand, and all of that. We did, there was a suspension on mining activities, suspension in the state. There was
That one caused a lot of confusion.
It caused a lot of confusion, but guess what? It was for the good of our people.
Yes, it was.
Again, we had town hall meetings. When we got that aggression again, you know what we did? We reduced the message in our dialects. We did jingles in Hausa, broken English, Birom, all those tribes where the mining activities happen in their environments. We did that, and we had it aired in all these places so that people will understand that the government means well. And the intent is very simple. Look, our people are exploited.
Yes.
They are exploiting
Heavily
our
exploited.
people. They are using the wrong certifications to take advantage of our people. Now, in mining, you could get an exploration license. The exploration license is just for you to, okay, this is a territory that I need to explore. I want to know what is here. If I know that it's tin or it's gold or whatever it is that is here, I now be given a mining license. The mining license is the certificate that will qualify me to mine. But these people will come with an exploration license.
And they're mining.
And they mine. And for every mining site, there's a cadastral that is set out for you. So you walk within that the confine of that area that is being given to you as your mining space. Well, because they don't have license, they don't know where to start, they don't know where to stop. You'll be sitting here, they have reached point E. We've had cases of a woman staying in her house and the sitting room of the house just collapsed.
Oh my.
Apparently, there's been excavation going on
under the house.
They didn't know. We know somebody who bought a piece of land. He wanted to start laying foundation. At the digging of the foundation, the whole place collapsed. That's the end of that place. Now, these are the things we're dealing with. Our land is getting degraded. We are losing. I'm not even talking about the people we're losing by the day. Because they're so unprofessional, the artisanal miners.
Yeah.
They go in. This one is taken from A. This one is taken from the other side. Before you know it, they just collide at some point. The thing, place, it collapses on them. And then they are just buried there. By the day, the number of people we're losing in the mining sites, the number is even equal to what people are dying by the guns. So again, these are challenges. So what do we do as a government? Should we just allow this to continue like this? No. Suspend these activities. Let us be able to look at the issues that are around the mining. How can we get those who the mining license, that's the legal miners, to be more responsible to the communities? How can they even help these artisanal miners? Are we going to leave them to continue as artisanal miners all the way? Let us get them into cooperatives. If they are in cooperatives, it means that they have a voice.
Yes.
Government will recognize them. The legal miners will recognize them. And mind you, for you to even have a mining license, one of the steps you take is to be registered as a cooperative. It's a registration process. So if you have our people first go as they are registered in this cooperative, they now have a voice.
Yes.
They have taken step 1 or step 2, and then they keep improving on it. That is towards liberating them to also own their mining license in the future. Again, when you bring in politics into this thing, is wrongly miscommunicated or is misunderstood, again, there would be issues. So we did not stop at that. We kept making effort, even as we speak. Tomorrow we are still going again. We've been meeting with them. We met with them at the Mining Association. We've met with the technical committee. The government has also set up a committee to advise her on which way to go. Train even the artisanal miners. Give them some basic support equipment that can help them. The right lights that they can use in those pits. The right reflective coverings that they need, so that once there's an emergency, what do you do? All these are measures that the government, as a result of that suspension, this is what it has birthed. But thankfully, they are cooperating now. They're coming for the revalidation of their papers and all of that. So I think it's progress for us. It's progress. But sometimes when you want to take a policy, you want to be able to take the policy direction that is not favorable to a particular class or group, so you find resistance. But if you're consistent on your position to say, oh, this, I know that at the end it will be for the better, you can get better results. And this is one thing that I must say that our governor has been able to, because once he sees that this is for the good of the people, he is also all out for that. And mind you, now we're looking at the options. We're not just limiting ourselves to what is happening now. We're beginning to think as a state on options on the climate change that we're encountering. So the governor has just set up a committee on jatropha.
Oh, yeah.
Planting jatropha a means for getting biofuel instead of fossil. So committee was inaugurated just last week, and we're really all out into it as measures. So you can see we have a leader who is foresighted, who is also determined to take us beyond the level where we are as a state, where this is something that is done at national levels of nations, but you can see Plateau State is already taking measures on doing that. So.
Fantastic. There is a narrative around Plateau State, especially outside Plateau State. And that narrative captures the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the untrue. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the untrue. The good, it's a nice place to visit, great weather, good food, all of that. The bad and the ugly, security, mostly stem around security and all of that. And then the untrue, exaggerated stories that never happened, but because there's already a narrative, it just fits in. What are the strategies that you think, or maybe what are strategies that you are currently putting in place and that you are looking to put in place for the future to help change this narrative? Because it is how a lot of people see the entirety of Plateau State. Doing the work that I do, especially with Discover Jos, I'm constantly interacting with a lot of people who say, I thought this place was like this. How come you are showing this? And then it just goes to show that there's a single-sided narrative that sells much more than the reality on ground. Are there ways or things or strategies that your office is currently putting in place and looking towards putting in place for the future to shift this narrative and show people the true Plateau?
I will start by thanking you first for also doing the much you're doing to change that narrative. Because if you are also exposing the good side of Plateau, you are also an advocate of changing that narrative. And I must thank you for that effort.
Thank you.
Okay, for us as a government, when I came in as commissioner, I had an interaction with the National Union of Journalists. That's like the biggest body.
Yes.
You have bloggers, you have print media, you have, of course, everyone represented at that level. And we had an honest conversation with them. And in my own opinion, I told them, I said, look, there's no nation that doesn't have its dark side, okay? Everyone has his dark side. We're not saying cover the sin.
Yes.
Okay, we're not saying cover for some sins that has been committed or anything. But we're just saying, why don't you be more patriotic in your approach? Be more open and be more optimistic to the good things that Plateau has.
Yes.
And be able to tell that, okay? And I shared with them, I said, look, if we give that right narrative about Plateau, if we have an event that brings in, say, 10 tourists to Plateau, you don't know where it gets to.
Yes.
The person selling akara on the street will benefit. If the drivers will not eat that, the mama puts they will eat. In fact, they would also do a lot. When they are going back, they can even buy our plateau potato. Mind you, it's now plateau potato. Okay, they will buy our plateau potato and go with it. So you can see, just because we put out the right narrative, it brings lots of opportunities for us. Some people just come in as tourists and they end up getting opportunities here. I know a number of people that came into Plateau as coppers, and they've become millionaires and probably billionaires because they came to serve in Plateau. If they had that negative perception, they would not think of settling here.
Very true.
So why don't we tell the good stories? Tell the good stories too. It's everyone's business. You know, the age where we are, the social media age, everybody is competing to be the first to bring out the news that they think would sell. But if we are deliberate in that approach, we can also be able to tell the right story. But we are not leaving it as a sole responsibility of those in the media space like you are and all of that. We're also trying to incorporate friends of Plateau. people that have Plateau at heart. And it should be everybody's business. I have you, Timothy, as a friend. Timothy, what do you like about Plateau? Share it. Your friends, share it. Everybody keep sharing it. That's how the thing will go. So we would get a whole community that will be sharing the same thing. It will change that narrative. It will tilt it to a direction that we want. But we are not leaving it at that. We are also taking measures to also tell our stories. I recall, let me use an example. Just recently, before June 12th, the governor also procured another batch of the metro buses that came in. And when people were celebrating on the street, they wrote there and posted that, oh, these are the buses that is coming from the federal government. It's not from the state. You know what we did? We gave it live coverage during the launch of it. I'm sure you heard the response of the president while he was in Makurdi.
Yes.
That was what we did. Because now if we had left it to our own space and say, okay, just cover it at this level, they would just keep confusing people. And so on the national live broadcast, the governor said this project is 100% funded by Plateau State government. And that was how we killed that. Now, these are the same approach that we need to take on these things. Loud everything. If you're eating beautiful food on the plateau, food that is grown here, loud it. If you see a beautiful scenery, the green scenery, loud the land is green. Yes. Okay? Now, these are the ways that we can be more patriotic. Every country has its dark side. I was privileged at some point. I was in Dubai then, and I was going to their free trade zone. Okay. And then I got a driver that is home based. He knows every, and sometimes traffic in Dubai. So he wanted to go through those areas that we can beat the traffic and get to where we're going to on good time. He took me through one place in my life. I never thought I would see a place like that in Dubai. Apparently, I've forgotten the name of the place, but that is where all those laborers that are building.
That's where they live.
My goodness, you need to pass through that. I wish I can get that. I tried to get Ajit to give me the name of the place again, but for whatever reason, I forgot. Okay? You need to see it. That is where, do you know the number of laborers they have in Dubai? In their hundreds, almost in millions. Those laborers that build a beautiful city. Have you wondered where they live? Do you think they live in Diara or Jumeirah or wherever? No, they live in that area. It's a whole community of its own that is like you're living in our own Angwa somewhere. I won't call the name of our Angwa. Okay, so this is what they have to. But they never put that at the airspace. Yeah. They never flood that. Okay, but it is us that let one bad thing happen, the next thing. It's out there. And these, I'm not trying to run down the people that are out there. It's like they are treading on that. They also push our own people here to keep sending those wrong signals. I tell them, if you are living in Plateau, you're Plateau. This is what is you're living. This is what is keeping you. Yeah. Plateau is what is keeping you. Your family, they are here. Your children are going to school here. If it is good, it's good for all of us.
Very true.
It's good for all of us. So we do not have to run down Plateau. Unfortunately, those people running the Plateau down, they are not even living anywhere. They are still here in Plateau with us. So what's the point? So it's all about our minds, our understanding of the issues and how we can change this narrative. Government on its own can never change this narrative. No matter how hard we try, it's a collective thing and we must all be in it together. We must be all advocates for the change of this narrative. And of course, you can see, we got the investors, Plateau Hotel, Hill Station, the most recent Chocolate City. Yes. And all these are people that are bringing ideas and bringing in their money. If Plateau is unsafe, would they bring their resources? No. I just got, one of the hotels, their investment, their investment is about, is it 15 billion or thereabout? Wow. So somebody takes this 15 billion, he will come and throw it in a place that is unsafe. He will throw it on a place that he's not sure of how to get it back. Yes. No, he will not. he has to check the integrity
Very true.
of the place. And that is what touches on the integrity of this administration. If we have not proven to him or to the investor that we have integrity to stand by what we said, he will not invest. Secondly, the security of what he's putting in. You don't want to come put in an investment of 15 billion and then somebody blows it overnight. No, he won't do that. So all these are things that others are even believing in us more than we that were reporting our state out there. Okay. So I would charge you to also be this advocate. And please, I know you have your friends in the globe. Let them also be advocates. Plateau is beautiful, and the land is green.
Yes.
This is what we are sending out there. Okay.
Whoa. So I'm going to wrap this up with, because you began to talk about them, ease of doing business and investment here on the plateau. What are some of the things, you just mentioned some of these critical people who are coming in. What are some of the steps that the government is making right now to make Plateau State more attractive to investors, to entrepreneurs, to people who are who want to set up business here? I'm sure that people have heard about, there's the Hill Station project, there's this one, and all of that, but maybe they don't have a full perspective of some of the things that the government is doing behind the scenes right now that is pulling all of this together. I know, sorry, just before I let you speak, I know I was at the Experience Plateau event in Abuja a few months ago, brilliantly put together, basically announcing to the world that, hey, we're here, it's time, come and invest in Plateau. Plateau is beautiful and all of that. And I did some posts about that event and I got some backlash. Oh, why wasn't it held in Jos? Why did they take it to Abuja? And all of that. And I had to start explaining to a number of people why it was done in Abuja, right? But beyond the things that are visible and some of the ones that are already in the news space, what are some of the things that the government is doing right now?
I'll start with the one that happened today.
Okay.
Okay. So this government went to look at the dilapidated trains that we had abandoned here in the plateau. I don't know when last you had the honk of a train in Plateau. Okay. So what the government did was to see how we could reactivate the rail tracks and then, of course, renovated those trains and then put it back to a state of functioning. Incidentally, they only took off today. They will run from Bukuru for a start. This is like the pilot stage, Bukuru to terminus. And guess what? The fully air-conditioned coaches will be for 300 naira. Yeah, you heard me, 300 naira. After all, you know how much we're charging for our metro buses.
Yes.
So, okay, now, this is what we have done. And the basic one that is not air-conditioned, that's the general coach, will be for 200 naira. Now, you would wonder why the government will go and invest on the Nigerian Rail Corporation to be able to get it to function. If we're able to get that to function, we reduce traffic on our road.
Very true.
We also would help with the movement of goods in the state. We also ease the transportation sector, okay? That is one benefit. How does it affect businesses? It affects businesses in countless ways, okay? The person who is coming here to procure some basic things that he needs to pull out, he does not have to struggle with understanding how to get into town. The town, we will free the town a bit. That's one measure. We also, as a government, when I'm sure, I'm not just saying this, you know, people are not yet so used to not getting results, and when they get results, they begin to doubt it again.
Yes.
I'm sure you remember 3 years ago how epileptic the flights were.
Yes.
Now we have
they were like 3
Mondays
times a week.
to another Monday, we have flights. Okay. Now we have 2 airlines functioning in Jos, ValueJet and Arik. So every single day now, there are flights in and out of Plateau State. The essence of having that is that if an investor is coming, a business person, there's a business person that wants to have a meeting in Jos and then he ends up in Abuja and then he's off to Lagos. If we don't have that to work, that will not happen.
Yeah.
So to make him know that he can easily dash into Jos and dash out of Jos is also an ease of doing business. And that is why we have also augmented the fares of these airlines with an understanding. Yes, that is why, the reason why some fares don't come, okay, though some airlines don't come, I'm sorry, is because sometimes they come, there are only 20 passengers. And then they feel, oh, we've wasted our resources and fueling and all of that. We have to pay the pilots, whether they are 20 passengers. So the state government has taken that pressure off them. Okay, we would give you for 10 people. So whether you have 10 passengers or 20 or 30, you have a full, just know that you have to come to Jos every day.
Wow.
That is an ease of doing business.
I had no idea.
So this is why you find airlines coming to Jos every day. Whether it's 5 passengers, they must come, unless if there's a technical problem. But that is the groundwork that this administration have been able to do. For you to go Mondays to Sundays, you can fly in and out of Jos. That's an ease of doing business. Now, in our various ministries, the lands and survey, sometimes what we're doing is not just for investors that will come from outside with the foreign currency. We also want our people right to the grassroots to also have the ease of doing business. Okay? So sometimes you want to do a business and then you want to build a factory or whatever you want to do, and you want to take a facility, whether it's from the bank or from Bank of Industry or wherever, or commercial bank. They need a collateral. Yeah. And the collateral is usually land. Okay, so what the government has done is that they've reduced the cost of the process of the cost of processing your certificates, okay, by half till December anyway. So if you want to do it quickly,
why am I just finding out?
Quickly run. Okay, that's why we're having this conversation. Quickly run and then get your land documents processed. That's an ease of doing business. So again, I wouldn't want to talk about the security, which of course has been the sensitivity of Plateau State and all of that. This administration has invested heavily on the technology that would be able to cope that. But of course, you know that security has its own issues, that when you go this way, it takes another dimension. The way it's going back and forth, but it's something that hopefully and prayerfully too, with all that has been put on ground, we should be able to summon that in the nearest future. So I don't want to discuss details of that because that in itself is an issue. Yeah. Okay, so these are measures that we're taking as ease of doing business. Then lastly, as Plateau people, they call us the home of peace and tourism. We are naturally supposed to be receptive people. We're naturally supposed to be warm people. We're naturally supposed to be people that are more inviting. So we also want to encourage you to also do that in your own space, to show love. Okay, and this is why our governor has said he doesn't care what tribe you belong to. So long as you believe in Plateau, you are his brother, give him your hand. Yeah. Give him your hand. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the essence of doing this is to make people feel more at home with us, to make people know that we are homely people and we are hospitable people. That's ease of doing business. So if we can change the culture of our people, not to even change, this is who we are actually, until we start getting difficult and more complex because of issues that have been affecting us. So it's just like to remind us to go back to who we are and just be ourselves. It's you don't know what that will go a long way to do. It's so easy to leave a remarkable mark on people when you're warm to them and you're hospitable. So I would also encourage you, be more hospitable and be more warm to people, so that people would also find reasons to come back to Plateau, and then encourage our people, which I would also want to do, to encourage our people that, look, we are a resilient people and we cannot stop at the challenges that befall us as a people, but we'll keep making efforts to make our state better and to get better results. This administration is out there to support that, to build that capacity in our people. We don't want our people to be taken advantage of. And we are bringing out policies that can do that. And these policies that we're bringing out are also translating into government agencies. Placom is an agency of government that is born out of a policy that is looking at the challenge of our people. You know, our people are farmers. And most times when these people farm, they go through the stress of all that. When they cultivate, you find people, middlemen come with trucks, move everything out of Plateau State.
And buy it for pennies.
God bless you. They do that. And guess what? They make maybe twice or three times what our people will make. So what this government did is to have an agency in place, which is Placom, Plateau Commodity Market. Okay, that what Placom does is that it will buy off, as the middle people, what our farmers are producing. So you don't get the pressure, I don't want to lose value for this thing, let me just sell it and go. No, Plateau State will buy it. Plateau State government will look for markets outside. We're looking for markets so that our people are protected. That's why we have Placom as an agency today. A policy that is translating and is affecting the value chain directly. That is what we've been able to do. That's an ease of doing business. Because by the time you are sure that when you cultivate, you have a ready market, you're not going to be scared. You will not sell at the farm. You will not sell just because you want to get rid of it, and they don't leave you with your product. So you can see this ease of doing business is not just at the top for foreign investors. It affects our typical farmer. Typical farmer in the village. He is a beneficiary of this ease of business. I can go on and on and on to simplify what we are doing as a government. The much that we're doing is long term, But even at that, people are seeing the results of what we're doing now. For those who are understanding, you can tell that the pressure of food has gone down a bit. Unlike when we came in newly, there's some kind of balance now in how food is being sold in the market. And we're not stopping at that. We also want to take over the value chain of agribusiness on the plateau. We don't want to just be producing our plateau potato. Let's have processing of our plateau potato. Let's have all of that. And all of this. These are measures that we're putting in place.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ooh, I would have to bring this to a close, even though I really wanted to continue. But I know that you have a lot of things to get back to. You have schooled me, and you have schooled a lot of people that are listening right now on many things that we didn't have perspective on, right? Things that are happening behind the scenes that maybe are not getting the kind of wide reach in terms of getting people to know about some of these. You've shared a few things that you haven't even shared in many places right here, and I'm very grateful for that. I think finally, if I have an appeal, I would say, which is already what you're already doing, but I would say, especially because we live in a day where social media is like water. A few years ago, everybody was watching and listening to traditional news stations, but that has shifted. That you were talking about the terminus incidents that happened in the market, and it was a video that somebody did and posted on, I think it was Facebook, and then I saw it on TikTok, and it just went everywhere, right? And it's the power of social media, the fact that it's on your phones, it's with you. I don't know whether it's to make it an appeal or to make it a question or put it together to say, if it's possible to maybe work a lot more with the social media creators, the content creators who are doing stuff, who are not in the traditional media space, whose videos and random gist goes viral and becomes what is shaping the narrative to a lot of people, I think that would also help further drive this to the grassroots. Those who create content, both in English and in various traditional local languages here on the plateau, I think that would synergize quite well. Yeah. Or is it something that's already happening? I don't know.
Let me just confess that as we're coming here, I said, where are we going to? Where is this place? What are we going to do here? And all of that, So now again, you're advising me to go back to where I was fighting with my my staff on where we're going to and what we're going to getting to do here. So I will take that as an advice, and then we'll do more of that. But also to say that also we are also trying to be more visible at that space too. And wherever we go to, I'm also going to appeal to you to also follow us on our Twitter handle too, so you can have access to more information as well, to see what we are doing, the much that we're doing too as a government. And please, every time you find useful information, don't hold it back. Also share. It will also help us. Yeah. So it's both ways.
It's a partnership.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I will be leaving their social media handles in the description of this video, in the description of this podcast. So as you listen to this, please follow up on the various social media channels. It is our responsibility to also follow them, to see what's happening, to be informed, duly informed, and that would also help us make certain key decisions in our interactions every day as we live here in the Plateau. And even those of you who don't even live here in Plateau, those platforms will help you understand better what's happening here without the propaganda, without the misinformation, without the fake news. Yes. Thank you so much, Ma. I'm very honored to have you here today. Thank you. I'm really grateful. And thank you for staying with us and listening to all of these. Please feel free. If you have questions, if you have comments, leave them in the comment section. Right? Let's interact on these things. But I'm hoping that she's made some really strong appeals. The responsibility of narrative is not left to the government alone. All of us have a part to play. I'm playing my part. That's why you're watching this. So go and play your part too, so that we ensure that we're having a beautiful, safer, and more positioned plateau for not just us, but for the rest of the world to come enjoy. Till I see you again and until I come back to your screens, I am Timothy Kunat. It's been really, really exciting bringing this to you. I can't wait to bring the next guest to you. I want you to guess. Guess. Can you guess who I'm bringing to you next? While you guess, I'll leave you right now and see you at the very next episode. Take care.